Hong Kong, a city that's known for its bustling streets and its iconic skyline. Tourists can get it all wrong though. Whether you've heard about the neon lights or the delicious street food, this city has deep layers, and today I'll reveal for you what most tourists regret missing when they're visiting Hong Kong. Oh, and stick around because there's a tip that'll make your trip easy peasy, and it costs less than a cup of coffee. It's like Hong Kong has a split personality. Hong Kong Island and Kowloon both have their own charm, but just wait till you see what happens when we bring them together on a ferry ride. Victoria Harbor divides Hong Kong into two sides, Kowloon and Hong Kong Island. As we begin this journey, you'll experience both the global hub of Hong Kong Island and the gritty, cultural heart of Kowloon. Walk along the Sim Sa Soi Promenade. Here in Kowloon, it runs for 1.6 kilometers from the old iconic clock tower there at the Star Ferry terminal down to Hong Hom Bay. The promenade is home to the Avenue of Stars, which is modeled after Hollywood's Walk of Fame. It celebrates Hong Kong's rich film history with plaques, handprints, and statues of famous figures in Hong Kong cinema. Yes, it's Bruce Lee right over there, one of Hong Kong's famous actors. Get your photo next to him in a kung fu pose and your day's complete. Nearby, you'll find cultural institutions like the Hong Kong Cultural Center, the Hong Kong Space Museum, and the Hong Kong Museum of Art, all just a short walk from the promenade. The promenade is one of the great vantage points for Symphony of Lights, a nightly light and sound show involving more than 40 buildings on both sides of Victoria Harbor. The show starts around 8 p.m., so make sure you get a good spot every evening and showcases the city's energy through lights, lasers, and music. As I mentioned, the promenade begins near the historic clock tower, the only remaining structure from the original Kowloon Canton Railway terminus, which was demolished in the 1970s. The tower has become a symbol of the city's heritage. You probably want to avoid the promenade during the blistering hot daylight hours. What I suggest and what I do my morning runs along here. Also, during the sunset hours, it's great. The sunset's just right over that way, and you get some beautiful photos of Hong Kong Island and the skyscrapers. It's what I was doing last night down here, just snapping away photos, and of course, people watching, doing their little photo shoots as well. Later on, I'll take you on a historic ride to Hong Kong's highest peak, and the steep ride to get there is an adventure on its own. Since you're here in Kowloon, dive deep into it, have some fun. What I recommend is stroll the local markets over that way and dive into the culture. Over there, well, there's Temple Street. You see this road right here that we're walking on? This is Nathan Street, and it comes from the south where the harbor is and splits Kowloon all the way up to the north, running south to north. And even on this side, tons of great markets and culture. Oh, look at this. This is one of the great things I love about Hong Kong. They still use bamboo for their scaffolding for their buildings. No other materials, just all bamboo. It's supposed to be stronger than steel or aluminum. Well, it just looks pretty damn cool. This area, this side of Hong Kong is gritty. It has a lot of vibe, and I really prefer it. And this is the area I'm staying in this visit to Hong Kong. And I recommend it to you as well if you're visiting Hong Kong. Okay, I know you're hungry, and I have something right over here for you. Start your day with the classic French toast with peanut butter and, of course, the famous Hong Kong milk tea. Unlike typical French toast found in Western countries, the Hong Kong version is deep fried to a golden crisp. It's filled with a layer of peanut butter, sometimes condensed milk, between two slices of bread, creating a crunchy and creamy contrast. The use of peanut butter as a filling sets it apart, adding a distinctively local flavor. In some cases, it's topped with a slab of butter, like today, and drizzled with syrup, creating a rich, decadent taste experience. And of course, the Hong Kong-style milk tea. This tea is made by blending strong black tea with evaporated milk, creating a smooth, creamy, and rich flavor. It's known for its silkiness, achieved by straining the tea multiple times through a fine mesh, often referred to as pantyhose tea because of the streaming method. Hong Kong milk tea represents the fusion of British colonial influence and local taste, giving it a distinctive local identity. You think escalators are just a boring way to take you upstairs? Not in Hong Kong. Soon I'll take you on a cool ride up an escalator that takes you through some of Hong Kong's hippest neighborhoods. What you have to do, what I recommend for you, is taking the Star Ferry from Kowloon across Victoria Harbour over to the island. You're gonna get an amazing view of the skyline, and it's practically the cheapest way to get the full scenic tour of Hong Kong. Have your octopus card ready, and I'll get into this in a minute. When you come up here, tap it and go. And this is cheap. Riding on the upper deck cost a little bit more money, but I think it's worth it. I just paid 5 Hong Kong dollars, and that's around 64 US cents. This octopus card, well, you can use it anywhere on all sorts of public transportation and in all the little shops, including 7-Eleven, anywhere you go, even the coffee shops, the food stores, use your octopus card. How do you get it? Well, I get mine as soon as I come to Hong Kong, right there at the airport, at the place where you buy your ticket to get on the express train to come into Hong Kong. You can purchase the octopus card. Why spend the big bucks on a harbor cruise when you can ride the Star Ferry for pocket change and still get those million-dollar views? Sure, there are other ways to get across the Victoria Harbour. You can go underground with the MRT. There are bridges for cars connecting Kowloon over to the main island, but this is the most classic, the most iconic, and the cheapest, and affords you an amazing view of all of Hong Kong. It began in 1888 as a way to connect the two lands, and now throughout the years there's been different generations of the boats. In fact, at the piers you can get visual history of the boats and how they've gone through the different generations. I think this one here, this classic one that we were just on, this is now the 4th generation boat that they've had. They've gone through steam engines and different types and different models to get to this one here. And frankly, I love it. Look at it, classic, just the way you want to travel in classic style over the harbor. Now there are longer routes you can take across Victoria Harbour. Today I took it from TST Tsim Sha Tsui over to the center, the main Hong Kong island. The ferry became an iconic symbol of Hong Kong's colonial era and remains one of the city's most enduring and beloved attractions. The service played a crucial role before construction of cross-border tunnels, the MRT, and bridges, offering an affordable and scenic route across Victoria Harbour. Even today, the ferry is an iconic and budget-friendly way to take in the skyline of Hong Kong. Hong Kong's tram system may be old school, but when it comes to charm and views, it's miles ahead of the subway. This tram system has been going since 1904. That's older than the state of Oklahoma. The locals call it the ding ding for the sound that the bells make when it rings. It's the largest double-decker tram system in the world. And what I love about it, and what I think you'll love about it, is this vintage old-school tram and the contrast of it with this modern financial capital. The tram system was introduced by the British during the colonial rule to connect various parts of Hong Kong Island, running on the north side. With a fleet of over 160 double-decker trams, Hong Kong boasts the largest fleet of double-decker trams in the world. Initially powered by steam, the trams were later electrified in 1925, making them an eco-friendly and nostalgic way to travel across the island. The trams offer a slow but scenic journey through Hong Kong's urban landscape, showcasing a blend of old and new modern skyscrapers juxtaposed with historical landmarks. Despite their old-fashioned charm, the trams remain one of the most affordable and efficient ways to explore Hong Kong. In heavy traffic, they have their own dedicated lane, even if most of the time they can be slower than buses or taxis. Bye-bye. Now, keep in mind when you're riding these things, you board at the rear of the tram, and when you get off at the front of the tram, and that's when you pay. Again, have your octopus card, tap it, get off, and it's a heck of a journey. There are currently 7 generations of trams. The one I was on yesterday, the driver told me it was a 3rd generation tram from 100 years ago. Locals love them, and I do too. They're a unique part of this city. As you're taking the tram or walking around Hong Kong, keep your eye open for those iconic neon signs. They're disappearing, unfortunately, and they're being placed by LED signs, which is terrible, but it's the way everything's going these days. There has been a push to revitalize them and to preserve them, so as you're looking around, appreciate them, take photos and take videos and record them in your memory. Before the next thing I want to show you, we need to refuel a bit. Now stick with me, because up ahead I have a green space and all this urban jungle I want to take you to. Do you remember when I told you that in Hong Kong escalators are more than just taking you from one floor to the next? No. Here they're pretty cool. And coming out of the Central Market, you're greeted with this right behind me, 800 meters long, the longest covered escalator system in the entire world. This is the Central Mid-Levels escalator system. This unique transportation network was completed in 1993 and is an ingenious solution to the hilly terrain of Hong Kong Island, offering both locals and tourists a convenient way to navigate the steep slopes without breaking a sweat. It's not continuous. At various points, you can get off and explore the neighborhoods. It rises 135 meters up the hillside here, and it's a godsend. Imagine if you had to walk up and down that every day to get from work to home. The cool thing about this escalator system is that during the morning, it's going downward to take people down to work, and then around about 10 a.m. it switches direction so the people can head upwards back home. Now, who knew riding an escalator could be an attraction? But it's more than just going uphill. It's a journey with snacks along the way. Now, I think in total there are around 14 different sections where this escalator system is broken up. It offers you an opportunity to get off and explore the little neighborhoods, especially the Soho neighborhood. Soho, that stands for South of Hollywood Road. And around that area, around this area here, is full of hipster bars and coffee shops. And at night, a great nightlife to explore and have some drinks as well. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Gregor, it's just a damn escalator system. No. I think this is a cool way, a cool attraction to see Hong Kong. If you're liking this video and liking these things that we're doing here today, well, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up down below. Also, have you subscribed yet? A lot of you haven't. If you haven't, please take a moment while you're down there also to hit the subscribe button. That helps me grow the channel, and it also makes sure that you're not missing out on upcoming videos. This way we can get these videos out to a much wider audience as I grow the channel, other food and travel lovers like ourselves. This is it. We're coming to the top. 800 meters of escalator. It's the longest escalator I've ever ridden, and we've done it together. 135 meters in elevation we covered, and the next destination, well, it's the Peak Tram, and you see it right there, 25-minute walk. Now remember, I promised I would take you to a green space, and we're gonna get to that on our way to the tram system. And don't worry when you're doing this, it's well signed. Just follow the Peak Tram. There's another sign there pointing downwards. Follow the Peak Tram signs and you'll get to your destination. Oh, this is great. Here it is. Hong Kong Zoological and Botanical Gardens. This is our green escape. This is our... Well, we'll look for another entry. This is great. Here we are. They must have the other gate closed to keep the wild animals from escaping. But this is amazing. A free zoo in the middle of Hong Kong, and some green space to get some fresh oxygen in your lungs. And walking through here, you can make your way over to the Peak Tram, and along the way, see some wild birds and wild animals. well maintained by Hong Kong. Look at this, I want to show you something. Green space, lush, and right behind me here, the cityscape, the skyscrapers of Hong Kong. This is what makes, for me, Hong Kong special, and coming through here, well, if you're like me, I think you're going to enjoy it. Let me just tell you, this is a brisk walk. I've been timing it, we're coming right up to 25 minutes. Keep following the signs, you'll pass the US Embassy there on your left, and you'll come around this way and you've reached the Peak Tram. Okay, towards the end of your day, what you want to do is get a ride on the Peak Tram, and this is Asia's oldest funicular, and this is where the octopus card really comes into play, because you can skip the line, everybody waiting for a ticket back there. Oh, look at this, there's photos and images here of the first tram. It's been renovated throughout the years. You can skip the line. We've used the octopus card today, getting coffee, getting on and off the ferry. We've used it everywhere, really, and you don't have to fumble around with the local currency. Okay, we are making our way up, and we're gonna wait in line here for the next tram that comes down. Pro tip for you, trust me on this, sit on the right-hand side. Forget roller coasters, this is Hong Kong's original thrill ride, but with jaw-dropping views. The Peak Tram is one of Hong Kong's oldest and most iconic forms of transportation. It first opened in 1888 and was Asia's first funicular railway, designed to transport residents and visitors up to Victoria Peak, or simply the Peak, one of the highest points on Hong Kong Island. Originally powered by steam, the tram now operates with modern electric systems and takes its passengers on a steep, scenic ride, offering stunning views of the city skyline and harbor. The Peak Tram has been a favorite for over a century, embodying both Hong Kong's rich history and its breathtaking landscapes. Get ready to take your photos and videos, because the ride is over almost as soon as it began. This is great. What did I tell you? You have the sun setting off of the south side of the island, and out that way we can see the center of Hong Kong Island. And don't make the mistake other tourists make by paying to go up to the Sky Terrace over there. It's not necessary. This is great. Hong Kong, an urban yet green jungle. So unique, a blend of British and Chinese culture here in Southeast Asia. And hopefully you, as a tourist, don't get Hong Kong wrong when visiting here. And if you're on the mainland in China, you should know the 5 big lies no one is talking about. Find out here.